Very, very true. All right. How do you want me to introduce yourself? So, Antonio, real estate investor, real estate educator.
Yeah, real estate investor school.
All right. Cool, cool. All right. We are not recording, so we should be good. All right. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? My name is Juwan Rohan. This is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with Antonio, real estate investor. How are you doing today?
What's up, Juwan? Nothing much. Just having a good day. Glad to be
Yeah,
on
yeah.
here.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot, man. I know, I know. I'm actually surprised you responded to my DM, man. So
I try to
that
respond to every single one. It's a lot, but I try to respond to every single one.
you gotta hire a virtual assistant. I'm sure you already have one, but
I do.
yeah.
Yes, she let me know that. Well, that I didn't have one at one point, and then I had to get one because it was just too much. But yes, and now I have one, and it has been very helpful.
There you go, man. That's good. That's good. Well, just a little bit about kind of how I ran into you. I saw you a couple times on TikTok, would just show up in my feed, and I was like, this dude keeps popping up. Like, I have to hit him up. Like, so I just ended up. I was like, he's not gonna respond on TikTok. And then I was like, I'll try the Instagram, and then you actually responded. I think like within the same day. So much appreciation and respect it, man. Keep grinding out there.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Cool.
for supporting my videos.
Of course, man. We'll go ahead and get into your story. So let's start from where you're from.
I am born in New York, Staten Island to be specific. And then my family moved to Jersey, and I've been there most of my life. Both my parents were born in Italy, immigrants, and now I live in Austin.
Oh, nice. When did you move to Austin?
January 2021.
How you like it out there?
Oh, I love it out here.
Yeah.
It's hot, that's for sure. No good Italian food, so don't look even if you try. But the people here are great. Everything's cheaper here. No state income tax, and
Yeah.
can't complain about it always being sunny.
How's the weather right now? Because I just got a text from my property, my property that I have an Airbnb at, and they canceled Taco Truck Thursdays. Every Thursday they have Taco Truck, and they said they canceled it because of the weather. So is it like stormy? Like what's the
It
weather
actually
like?
rained. Yeah, it actually rained today, which is surprising because it comparatively to where I'm from, it doesn't rain that much. Like
Mm.
maybe rains here once every 2 weeks. I actually got back here last Tuesday, and this was the first day it rained since then. So
Where
yeah, it
where in
rained
Austin
for
are you?
like I'm northeast Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. It rained for I don't know an hour and a half. It doesn't seem to be raining right now. It's just cloudy today.
Nice, nice. Cool, cool. That's cool. Do you ever miss New Jersey?
I miss Italian food and my family and friends. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel it. I feel
Your
it.
is your
Where
Airbnb? Where's your Airbnb at in Austin?
off of Slaughter Lane?
Oh, okay, down south.
Yeah. Yep, yep. It's right in the heart of like everything, stores right across the street and everything. So
When'd you pick that up?
I want to say beginning of this year because I moved one of my Airbnbs from Houston to Austin. And I'm
Hmm.
trying. I think I'm gonna get like three in the same building because this building is just like so clutch and the cash flow is amazing. So,
No
uh,
HOA.
nah, nah, I don't own it. It's rental arbitrage.
Oh, rental arbitrage. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. So no HOA in this building, but it's amazing. So I love it. And Austin, dude, it's always busy. It's always busy. So,
Yeah, my
um,
girlfriend's got an Airbnb in Terrytown, and
oh
it's doing pretty well.
yeah, yeah. I was looking in that town before I found this one. So that's really good. Now I gotta go back. I gotta go look over there. um, I'm actually planning on going down. My investor, he just hit me and said that he wants to go down next month. Was what? Yeah, no, October, October. So I might be down there October. I'll hit you up
Okay,
for sure.
cool.
Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into like how you got started in real estate, right? So I found you on TikTok. Your videos are so good, like the quality, and then you always have something catchy to say, right? And so that's good, and I'm sure that's how you got your growth. But I want to kind of know the backstory, how you first got introduced to real estate.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think I got something catchy to say because
You don't think so?
Nah, I mean, I'm always very hypocritical of not hypocritical, hypercritical of what I do. And so like right now I'm in like a dry spell of what I'm making, and I'm just like, I want to make something good, and I feel like everything I'm making is bad. So it's good perspective.
Let's
Anyway,
talk about that. Hold on, before we gotta talk about that. What do you mean everything is bad? Like, let's talk about it. I'm sure the audience want to hear.
yeah, I mean, I feel like everything that I mean, if you're familiar with the real estate space, everything is basically people talking at you for the most part. Um, people saying, go do this, go do that, and it's really just their face in front of the camera talking, like pretty basic, kind of like this.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, Whereas I look at other styles of content and I see so much creativity being put into it, whether it's comedy or some sort of drama type content. And so I'm basically trying to take it to the next level. And I'm trying to figure out what that next level looks like. So I'm trying to hyper focus on trying to make better and better and better videos. And I've almost set the bar too high for myself because I haven't posted a video in, I don't know, a month and a half. So that's not good. I need to pull the bar back, but that's kind of how it feels. Like I want to make something really good, but that feeling of making it really good is really hard to do regularly. So I think there'll be some time where I'm putting out things that I think are good, but not amazing, and I'm in between that stage.
Yeah, you know what's
Um,
crazy is I'm sure everybody listening has that same feeling, right? All business owners and entrepreneurs. I actually had to sit down with myself today, literally, and just kind of I have a whiteboard right here. You can't see it. And I added two new goals for the podcast that I want to complete. Like I'm trying to find the next level that is going to separate myself as far as what media I'm putting out and what information I'm giving, right? I don't want to just be the guy that talks to the camera and gives advice just like everyone else, right? Like,
mhm.
and it's not vetted advice. So I want to find a way to separate myself with kind of what you're thinking. And it's hard, man. Like it's like where do we get this the motivation, right? To be creative. Where do you draw creativity from?
um, I have this like hyper want to help the old me who's sitting in all the other houses, apartments around America. The old me thought like, um, who thought that life was out of your control and you couldn't do anything about it. The old me who thought that, like, oh, just getting a job was the only thing that you could do. Um, that person, the type of person who wants to invest in real estate but doesn't know where to start, that person feels alone. And if I don't show up and perform for them, who will? That's kind of how I look at it. So I feel this, I don't want to say pressure, but I feel like this, yeah, motivation could be the word to come out and show up for them, because if I don't, there was no one for me, it felt like. So it's got to be me.
There you go. That's the drive to influence, right? And
Mhm.
that's literally why I created this podcast, and that's why it's called the Misguided, is because we wanted to guide people in a better direction. And when I was, younger and in high school, I wish there was like that mentor just right there saying, "Do this, do that." Like you will thank me 10 years from now, right? And
Mhm.
so that's really cool that you're wanting to do that. I want to get back to the original question of how did you get started? How did you hear about real estate?
Yeah. So I was 22. I went to college my entire life. Like, my parents just taught me, like, go to school, get a job. Became a software engineer. And day one of my first job as a software engineer, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like done with all my work by like midday. And I'm like, so I just got to sit here for the next 5 hours. Like, what am I going to
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
And I was like, there's no way this is the rest of my life. Like, it's coding is fun, but it wasn't doing it for someone else, and the thought of like being stuck at my desk and having no like real choice over what I had to do uh, felt not cool. So I go home that day, I text my friend, and I'm like, yo, I can't do this. He was like, oh, well, there's this thing called entrepreneurship, and I had no idea what even the word was. So I start reading a bunch of books about business. I started reading real estate investing books at that time. I got my hands on Rich Dad Poor Dad was probably the book that really spun me into the real estate specific side of things. But I think it was Think and Grow Rich that really got me down this like whole like, okay, I can improve myself kind of path. And so I started reading all the books, but the problem kept happening over and over again where I'd read a real estate investing book. And, I got a few of them right here. Just so you know, I'm not making stuff up. The book on rehab costs, recession-proof real estate investing. A few more. I'm reading all these books, and as I'm reading them, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can do this. And then immediately after I'm done, I'm like, I have no clue what I actually have to do. Like, what's that first step that I have to take? I feel the motivation, and I know that this is the path I have to go down, but I have no idea how to even pull it off. And that just kept happening. And so from 22 to 26, I'm just kind of working, making some money, saving up some money, spending it all, doing things, just living life basically and reading these books, knowing that I had to do it at some point. Then it was July 2019. I'm sitting in my apartment in New York City, and my landlord sends us an email, and he's like, hey, just so you guys know, we're going to be raising your rent 15%. And I was immediately like frustrated because I was like, I pay on time. I never complain about anything. I think I asked for one thing to get fixed throughout the entire year, and never have like parties, never make any noise, nothing. And it was at that point where I was like, I know I need to be on the owner side of things and I have to figure it out. And so it was that day that I pulled out my books again. I was like, all right, I'm going to break this down into a process, into a system, because I can't figure this out on my own, just from the reading that I had done. And so then I just kept looking for properties, and I ended up finding one about 3 months later. I closed on it November 2019. It was a triplex in Ewing, New Jersey. And then I was hooked. Jesus. I was like, I got to do more.
Yeah, you still got that, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Damn, that's really cool. Yeah, we kind of have like very similar path. Like that 22 to 26 range was literally the same for me. It was like I was doing construction for a year, and then I went to Coca-Cola, got a good job as a sales manager, and would just listen to podcasts all day, right? Because I'm driving all day, read books, listen to audibles, and learn. And so I knew the stuff. It's just that first step is the hardest to take, because it's like, all right, now I got all this information, but like, oh my God, I got to actually go out there and do it. And so, man, yeah, very, very similar. And I would just fuck around all the money, like just boop, alcohol parties every night, like, yeah. And then
because you had no clear direction on what to do. I mean,
yeah,
like if you knew what to do, like if I knew what to do with that, I could have got started when I was 22 and I didn't have to
absolutely.
wait.
Yeah.
But because I was kind of clueless, I wasn't really sure what to do. It was like, do I go party this weekend, or do I save this money for this imaginary goal that I don't even know when I'm going to do? Right? It's easier to choose the partying and
try telling your friends at that age. Try telling someone at 22, like, nah, I'm staying in on this thirsty Thursday night. Yeah. I'm saving for real estate. Like, come on,
no
the peer
girls,
pressure from guys.
Cash flow instead.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, man, it's very true. What are some of your favorite books?
Think and Grow Rich was obviously a big one because it put me down that path. Letting Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's do some new ones, because I was gonna say don't say Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everyone says that, which is one of my favorite.
Well, let's get actually tell you a favorite one that I really like right now that I think is pretty relevant is this one that I showed earlier, Recession Proof Real Estate Investing by Jay Scott. Whether or not the government admits it, I think we're in a recession. I
think they finally admitted it.
Oh, they did?
I think so. Yeah, like yesterday.
Gotta love them. Yeah, so I think we're in a recession, and so I read that book probably like 2 or 3 months ago. And it was so eye-opening to kind of give me, who has never like lived through a crash as an investor. I've obviously been alive through a crash before, but I
You
didn't
haven't.
have a lot of money in play,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it's different. And I'm so scared about losing money that I really I'm really hyper focused, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't end up like someone who is overzealous and then lost all their money in the crash. I'm trying to be someone who is going to survive the crash and thrive through the crash and land on the other side. And that book puts everything into perspective. It like removes the time element of what's happening right now, which is kind of what you can get absorbed into, and instead just looks at all the factors that can be happening in that scenario, so you can determine what point of the cycle you're in, what to do in that point of the cycle you're in, how to change your investing strategy. One of the better Bigger Pockets books for sure. I read a
Nice.
lot of them.
I'm buying it right when we get off this call. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Cool. I wanna do some common questions new investors might have to get them off the ground, get them running. I want you to answer quickly, maybe 1 to 2 sentences max. And just little quick tips. Okay.
Sure.
You-
You
uh,
have the questions already, or
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Oh,
okay,
you
cool.
thought I was gonna freestyle? I can
No,
do
yeah, I
that.
wasn't. No, I did. I wasn't sure if you were asking me what questions people ask me,
No,
or if. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I
I
got
got
it
him.
now.
I got him. Ready? Number one, how do I determine value of an investment property?
First, you need to know which strategy you're going for. Um, and so if you're going for a fix and flip, it's after repair value. You have to look at comps of houses nearby. And if it's buy and hold, then you need to determine the rental value and subtract all the expenses. And then that'll give you your income that you make. That's how I look at it.
Next one, number two, how do I determine the best real estate strategy for me?
I look at my goals. If you look at real estate as something you want to do more actively, then I'd look down more wholesaling or fix and flip route. And if you're looking to do something more passively, then I would look at some form of buy and hold, whether it's Airbnb or long term rentals, midterm rentals, whatever.
Great. Number three, what should I look for during a property tour?
Um, Really, you're just looking for if there's any extra space that you can use for extra bedrooms or any discrepancies between what was listed on the property or not listed on the property. So sometimes you'll find out that there's an extra bathroom or bedroom. Um, Also, you want to look for what is wrong with the property and then estimate how long it's going, not how long, how much it's going to cost to fix up.
Number four, can I invest with no money and how?
You can, it's just more difficult to do that as a beginner because you don't have experience. If you're a beginner and you want to do it, you would have to partner with someone who has money to buy a property or be using a VA loan. And even in that case, it's still hard to use the VA loan to get absolutely $0 down.
Yeah. Yep. Number five, what happens if a tenant refuses to pay?
I first try to work with them through the property management company, of course. I try to see if what is the reason why they're not paying. What can we do to get them back on track? And if they're not willing to cooperate or anything, then depending on the state's laws, I'd proceed to an eviction. Unfortunately.
Got it. Thank you. Nice answers on all five. For real, I think I agree with everything you said. Um, I wanna know what kind of your portfolio looks like right now. How many homes are we talking? Short term, long term, midterm. What's your portfolio looking like?
All long-term rentals. I have two. I have a duplex in Ewing, New Jersey, a triplex in Ewing, New Jersey, a duplex in Hamilton, New Jersey. We're building a single-family home in Florida. Depending on when that one's finished, hopefully November. It's been under construction for over a year.
Ooh.
If that one gets finished,
Cash? You,
we bought the land, and then we used the loan for the new construction. And so
how much interest you've been paying, if you don't mind sharing?
I think it's like 3.25. The loan is under my brother's name because he has a W-2 job. So we were able to get 0% down, vacation rental status or vacation home status on the mortgage with a credit
Cool.
union. And then I have 2 triplexes in Akron, Ohio, and a duplex in Little Rock.
So you're all multifamily. No, or besides
Except
the one you're,
single family, yeah,
yeah,
but that's only because the build cost didn't make sense for the duplex. Otherwise, I would have went for the duplex.
yeah.
But yeah, I like multifamilies better because my emphasis is towards cash flow, long term rentals, and the way to really do that is to get multifamilies, more units under one purchase.
Yeah. Why no short terms?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, I'm very afraid of losing money, and so I look at short terms as right now there a lot of people are bullish on them because travel is high and the recession really hasn't hit everyone's pockets yet. But I do think that there will be some sort of downturn where people aren't traveling as much. And I'd like to see how a short term plays out there. I actually had a 5 unit under contract that I was going to turn all into short term in Little Rock. Um, but that's a whole another story that I had to fall out of contract because the government would not allow me to turn into a short term rental. They had 2 committees that I had to get passed, and basically there was just some. It's the first time I've ever dealt with like political corruption firsthand. Um,
Wait. Let's talk about this more because I just did a Airbnb presentation on someone's podcast yesterday, a live class, and my first tip on Airbnb was legality and taxes. And so you just mentioned a legality issue, and I want to dive a little bit into it. So you went in a contract on this 5 unit. I guess some way through you found out you couldn't complete it. Why exactly?
okay, so it's an off-market deal. It's technically a single-family home, or that's how it was presented to me. But when you walk into the house, on the bottom floor, there's a 2-bed, 1-bath, and a 2-bed, 1-bath. And then you walk upstairs, and then there's 3 units that are 2 studios, and then a 1-bed, 1-bath. And so I was like, I found a gold mine. This is really a 5 unit disguised as a single family, and that's why no one's going for it. And so I got under contract, and my game plan was to run it as a short-term rental because the cash flow would have been like $7,000 a month, even with my really conservative estimates. It turns out that because the property's in like downtown Little Rock, it's under this committee area known as the Mansion Area District and the Capital Zoning District. There's 2 of them. And so I show up to the first. So there's 2 meetings I had to go to, and we called one of the employees at the place, and they were like, "Yeah, I've never seen anyone get denied from an application like this as long as you have like actual units with kitchens and you have the parking spaces." And we got measured in the back for the parking spaces. So I was like, this is going to be, just a normal formality. I have to walk in. And so I go to the first meeting. It's on Zoom. And immediately, right before the meeting, I check the document on the website, and the last page of my report says that someone objects to my application to turn into a short-term rental and make it a legal 5-unit. And the lady who does it says I live next door in her thing. So I go to PropStream and look up the property records of who lives next door. And turns out there's only one other property on the block, and it's a bed and breakfast. The lady who shut me down sits on the committee. She also owns the bed and breakfast. Not only that, she also owns a bed and breakfast on the block perpendicular to it. So she just didn't want me to have an Airbnb there because it would add competition. And of course, all of her friends had her back. Now, I haven't talked about this yet on social media, but I'm trying to brainstorm how I'm going to, because I have both meetings fully recorded. I set up my phone on the side. So it's going to be a good story. I just don't know how to structure it yet. But I can't wait to
use this
expose it.
clip. You could use this clip and then tie in the other clips with your
Yeah.
virtual assistant and make it. There you go. I got you.
I can't wait to expose it because it was complete and utter BS that the fact that they
Okay,
didn't
well,
allow me to get this property.
as as an entrepreneur and real estate investor, do you think like that was a good move as an investor to kind of wean out the competition? Like take a step back from the
If I was in
situation.
her
And
shoes, you're saying?
if you were in her shoes, do you think that is like because it's not like morals. There's no, it's just like, nah, bro. Like I own this block.
I own this the whole district. It seems
The whole
like.
district, right? Literally. It's just
Like
a big
I
balls
see
move.
why she was doing it.
Yeah.
But do I think like she had the matter of law behind her? No. And that's all I asked. Like from a legal perspective, she was wrong. There was nothing. They kept quoting a law saying that, oh, weren't we going to pass this law that said that there was one Airbnb per block? I'm like, how convenient that one Airbnb per block was what you were going to do. And you haven't passed it yet, but you keep talking about it. So they shut me down based on that. And the only way to get around it would have been for me to go to court for an entire year to prove that I was right. I spoke to a lawyer about it. I called 6 of them. Only one actually took my case on the phone. And so in my head, she played extremely hardball with me. And it's not like the town of Little Rock is in great shape. You know, like it's got one of the higher crime towns in the nation. And I'm trying to take this property that, you know, isn't fully inhabited the full year, doesn't look that great, and improve everyone's property values around. I was going to do $100,000 worth of work to it and turn it into a short-term rental. Now, I believe in the future of Little Rock, but does she? Because she's trying to limit me from doing that.
Maybe she does though, and that's why she's limiting other investors coming into the town. I'm just playing devil advocate here. It's not that I agree with her or anything, but
it's totally cool that she it's not totally cool, but I get why she did it. Do I come from that perspective that, you know, I'm a real estate investor and I don't want you to buy the property next to me? No, I think that's a terrible perspective to have. I think that just like, you know, if I have monopoly money and I wanted to, and I landed on you know, Broadway and I had the opportunity to buy it, then let me buy it. There's no law saying I can't buy it. She tried to make a law on the game to say that I couldn't buy it. To me, that's the part that's the problem here, not the fact that, you know, she was playing. If she wanted to do it right, she should have just made her B&B nicer. So this way, she wouldn't have a problem with that competition.
She house blocked you.
Yeah.
I want to ask one more question about this, and then we're going to move on. Why did you need to have that meeting with the council? Why can't you just buy the property and start the Airbnb? Were you is it because you were trying to legally convert the single family home into 5 different homes?
So there's a lot of gray area in this case because it was originally used as apartments. This property was originally used as apartments in like the 1960s and 70s. It had a commercial license. There was an application to turn it back into a single family home in like 2008, but it never was completed. So I was trying to I usually play the game of ask for permission first before I try to do something wrong, because I don't want to buy a property, put $100,000 worth of work into it, and then maybe have the opportunity to get this to work properly. So I wanted to do it legal from the start. It turns out that my lawyer said that I could have not done that, and I could have just went about doing my own thing, but then they probably would have fined me anyway down the line. So it would have been a bunch of headaches down the line when they realized that I was running something behind here. But they had no legal recourse to really do anything to me looking back on it. So next time I do something like this, I might just slide under the radar, not tell anyone I'm doing it, because I'm really pissed, because that one deal alone could have accomplished all of my goals for this year. My main goal was to retire my dad, and now I'm having trouble finding deals that are going to actually pull that off by the end of the year. There's only 4 months left in the year. Now it's looking like that won't happen because of this one deal. I spent so much time on it.
Worst case scenario, couldn't you have done long term? Say you did that.
I could have, but the cash flow was only $300 per month for $100,000 worth of work. Yeah.
No, 300 per unit?
No, 300 total. If it was 300 per unit, I would have done it, but it's
I was
300
gonna say,
total.
yeah.
It's why? Because I got it under contract in March, right before the interest rates went up. And so I ran the numbers like thinking I would make 800, but as the time went on, like this ended back in, the end of end of June. So, rates already for me were in the sevens. So there's no way I was going to be able to make that cash flow.
Yeah, no, I'm a real estate agent in California. I know right now the clients is going through it, but I honestly I think it's still a good time because I only think rates are going to get worse. But we could talk about that in a little bit. I want to move on to the Hella Misguided segment where I ask the same question to each entrepreneur and business owner that comes up here. That question is, if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would a summary of that letter be?
Everything is going to take longer than you expected. And I can't tell you that everything you want is going to happen yet because I haven't fully experienced it yet. But a lot of the things that you thought were going to happen are going to happen. You just got to keep committing to it.
What would be a step? What would be a thing at age 18 that you would go back and just do automatically? Like let's say you wake up tomorrow, you're 18 years old, you're in you're in the middle of high school class in geometry or whatever, and what would be the first thing you'd do?
I would have learned how to wholesale because I had so much time on my hands that I could have really used that skill right now.
Yeah, wholesale, yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. Do you invest in other things than real estate? Are you in stocks, crypto?
I mean, I have a Roth IRA that I don't contribute to anymore. I have purchased, SPY. I'm more just long-term buy and hold kind of guy. I have a little bit of BTC, a little bit of ETH, but other than that, like I'm pretty much all in on real estate. I just started looking at what all the rich people do, and they all tell us to diversify, but all they do is they buy one asset and they just kill it in that one asset, rather than buying S&P 500 and diversifying and buying a bunch of index funds. That's really what they do if you look at it.
Yeah, I agree to some point. I think what they do is they master one. So whether it's going to be stocks or real estate, and then once they make a lot of money in there, then they diversify, right? Then they go throw 100,000 into the other thing, right? But one common thing is always real estate. And that's what got me interested is every wealth person, whether they started in stocks, they are invested in real estate. And so,
I think you're right. Diversification, the game of diversification is a defensive game to protect your wealth. Mm-hmm. The game of focusing on one and going all in on one is to grow your wealth.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. Well said. Cool. Do you have any future market predictions? I don't want to get too what is it like theory over here? But do you have any?
You mean like a real estate market, just in general, as a high level?
Yeah, let's go real estate. Let's just focus on real estate.
Okay. Because I don't know much else, but real estate.
Thanks for the honesty, Doug. Thanks for not coming on here and trying to be like a TikTok guru, right?
No, I don't know. I that's why I said I don't buy all these individual stocks. I literally don't know anything about them. I hear all about this crypto stuff, but I don't know anything about them. I just look for cash flowing properties. That's it. So real estate market wise, I mean, after reading that book, I really, really believe that, like, if I had to draw it out for you, the peak was probably March, and now we're starting to come down from the peak. We definitely haven't hit a bottom yet. There's still time. I hate speculating on this because no one's ever right. There's one thing I've learned, but I do think there'll be some price drops. I used to think it was only going to be a cooling, because I thought this time was different, but I think my old self was wrong, and this time is different. I do think there's going to be price drops. I don't know how much. I don't know for how long. All I can say is that I'm sitting here and I'm ready for it at any point in time.
Are you piling cash right now to get ready for that bottom, or are you continuing to look and if a deal comes across that the numbers look good, you would buy tomorrow?
Both. So
Got it.
I have one property left that I just have in cash that I'm trying to finish the rehab on and like kind of stabilize. Once I do that, I hopefully by the end of September, I will refi out of that one. And plus the cash I have right now, I'll have somewhere between 200 and 300 ready to go to buy stuff. And at the same time, I think I want to do something with trying to get some private lenders aboard to try to help me scale quicker when the time comes. Other than that, like I am looking.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Have you not used private money before? You've done it all yourself, or maybe your brother, family?
Yeah, I'm partnered with my brother and my dad, but it was only one set of like we did one cash out refi of 300 on my dad's house that I used to then buy 2 duplexes cash, fix up a bird out of those 2, then use the cash from that to buy 3 more.
Ooh,
and I'm now burning those.
Let's get into this real quick. How the hell do you convince your dad to pull out $300,000 to listen to you to go invest in some real estate?
So if we go back to my original story about how I was looking for everything in the beginning, I was looking for the property by myself. I had the property under contract for myself until my first property, until like a week before we were about to close. Like I'm showing my dad and my brother the numbers. They were kind of with me the entire process. My dad's a contractor and tried to invest in real estate twice, but he always claims he doesn't understand the numbers and all this
Contractors suck at investing in real estate. They do.
They're great at fixing up properties.
Yeah.
So he's had bad experiences in the past. And so like I was willing and ready to go all in on myself on this. And I ended up like a week before switching from an FHA to a conventional on that property and going, I put 50% of the down payment, 30,000. Then my dad put 15K and my brother put 15K. And so like, that was like the first step in the right direction. Then, as soon as that property closed, I just kept looking at properties and I was showing my dad, I was like, look, this is working. We're making money. You're not losing money like your other things. And at the time I was reading, do I have it here? This book, Raising Private Capital by Matt Faircloth. Actually, he invests in the same area that I did in Jersey. I actually met him and I didn't know who he was. And so, because I ran out of all my cash, right? I used all my cash for the first down payment. I was like, how the hell am I going to get a second one? And then he was talking about cash out refis. So I started going, and my dad had mentioned that he had finally paid off his mortgage. I was like, perfect. This has got to be it. And so I was like, look, we can use this money in your house. He couldn't take out a mortgage because he's self-employed. At that time, I still had a W-2. So I was like, look, I'll co-sign the loan with you. We'll take the loan out, and then I will pay back that loan for $300 next year. Just let me buy 2 properties with it. I'll fix it up, and we'll pay off your loan. He was skeptical. My mom hated it. I got it through, right? So that was May 2020. I bought 2 properties, severely discounted because of COVID. Luckily, I got it like at the sweet spot in April 2020. And then a year later, I was refinancing these properties, and my dad actually had COVID at the time. And I said to him, I was like, look, I'm about to refinance these 2 properties. We have 2 routes we can go down right now. Route A, we can refinance the properties and pay off the debt that we have, and you could be sitting on your house free and clear again. Route 2, we can refinance these properties and take that cash and keep buying more properties with it. And I think because COVID had hit him so hard, he couldn't walk and he was out of work for 2 weeks. Like it clicked in his head. Like at the time he was 58. He was like, I'm 58. I'm not going to be able to do this for forever. I need to find a way to make cash flow. And that was kind of like the moment where he was like, all right, I'm all in. My mom still said no. And she was like, no, we got to put the money back into the house. I was like, listen, I know you want to believe that being debt free is the right thing to do, but in this case, you're wrong. Like, being debt free is not the right thing to do. We need to use the debt to buy more cash flow. And so then he kind of gave me like more trust and full reins to go all in and buy more. But it was gradual. It wasn't overnight. Like I said, I had to basically put myself on the line before he was even thinking about doing it with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, man. Good job. That's good. It took a while. And I mean, you literally are, how you got it to happen is just showing him, hey, look, we're making money. You're not losing like last time. And then and then also obviously the life-changing COVID scare that definitely can push and motivate someone. So that's cool, man. How do you manage your time? What's your day look like?
That is a current problem of mine. I've said yes to too many things, and now I need to say no to a lot of things. So right now, the way my schedule works is I wake up somewhere between 5 and 6. I have a morning routine for about an hour. Then my 4 things that I have to do every day, that I'm supposed to do every day for my content creation business, is to first brainstorm content ideas, develop the idea out, write out a script, and then record. The problem that I've been having is that like one of those 4 end up not being done every single day because of the afternoon portion of my day, which usually consists of, at that point, I go to the gym. I come back and I have all my meetings, like any podcast stuff like this, calls with my property managers, calls with real estate agents, any coaching that I have, therapists that I have, like all of that happens in the afternoon. And so all of that, like that chunk keeps creeping up and trying to eat into that like creative space that I need in order to grow this thing. And so it's a constant struggle for me to keep pushing back and push that part later and later into my day so I have more time for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is definitely a struggle. I started implementing as of last Friday a new thing for me to manage time. I wake up at 4:30, sometimes push it a little bit till 5. Get my workout done, get that blood flowing. Then I come in my studio and work on. I try and give myself 3 things to work on before my kids wake up, and that allows me that it's summer break, so my oldest isn't in daycare or preschool or whatever, and so he just wants to play all day, right? And so I don't feel as guilty spending time with him, because it's like with me, I was like, I should be doing this. Like everyone's outworking me. I got to outwork everyone. Like I got to do this. I got to spend my time, and then I like feel bad spending time with him. So now this allows me to spend time with my kids, and then when my wife gets home, like she just did, now I can do my other stuff, in the evening. So I know like from like 12 to 4 or from 8 to 4 is like kid time, So
Yeah,
yeah.
you have those
So
blocks. I can't even imagine how it is with kids. Like I'm scared of like, okay, if I have kids, how am I going to get half of the stuff done that I have to get done? So I always commend parents who pull it off, because that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, shit's hard. I live by my calendar. Like I schedule. I mean, shit. We scheduled this interview in May 26th. We scheduled this interview. So I live by my schedule, and I make sure I like do everything. Like right after this, I'm going to a notary appointment. So I'm just like super busy all the time, and I try and stay on top of time management. It's important. I know you got a few minutes left. But I did want to talk about, where do you see the next 5 years with you as far as growth? Where do you want to be? And if you don't know where you want to be, at least where do you want to strive for, I guess?
I really want to be known as the guy that people come to or think about when they think about investing in real estate. So my goal is to just put myself in as many places as possible so people know me, um, and know what my company stands for. Um, so that's kind of like a high level answer, but more concretely, I would say I'd love to retire my dad and my mom, uh, and have my rental portfolio grown up to 100 units within 5 years. I think that's definitely easy, definitely doable. Not easy, but doable. And then, yeah, social media wise, like I said, working on these newer style videos that take more time and more creativity and more thought process behind them. Um, that's probably a 5-year game. I don't know if I can pull this off in a 1 year or a 2 year situation, but I've been making content for 5.5 years already as it is. So I have no doubt that I'll still be doing this in 5 years.
Definitely. Do you hire virtual assistants to edit your videos, or do you edit?
I have 2 editors that are like contractors that I use when I need help.
Yeah. I need to get on that. I try and do everything myself, and there's just you can't do everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to pick your battles. And
It's
so
hard,
yeah, for sure. Cool.
especially if like that, like, because I know for so long my thing wasn't cash flow positive, so like I had to give money from my job to put towards it to hope that it would grow.
Yeah.
And that's probably, I guess, the hardest part for a lot of people is like trying to do this. And if you're all in and that's all you have, then you got to spend the time doing it. Otherwise, you got to use the capital you have to try to invest in and get more out.
Are you full entrepreneurship right now?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
quit my full-time job last April. But
Like
like I
this year?
said,
Or
no, the year before.
okay.
But I don't, like, I don't touch the money from my rental properties. The money from my rental properties, like I said, is just compounding and trying to help my dad retire. The money that I make from social media is what supports me to be full time.
Oh, let's talk about that real quick. How do you what contracts, what money are you getting from social media?
I have my book. My book I wrote, I put out in like June 2020, but it didn't really start selling till like January 2021. So my book, I
What's
have
the
a
name of the
rental.
book again? Say it for the people listening.
The
For the people
beginner,
listening.
the beginner real estate investor's playbook, a step-by-step guide to buying your first investment property. It's more of a, I'm trying to show an example here. It's like, it's got like underlines and questions and answers and tells you to go look things up. It's more of an action book than a book because I'm not a good writer. I failed. I got a 490 on writing on my SAT. Okay.
Yeah.
And I failed English in high school, and English was not my first language. So I don't have a lot of things working for me in that direction. Anyway, I got a rental property calculator. I've done some coaching here and there. It's not my favorite thing to do, coaching. I like helping people, but I don't like the idea of taking money from beginners to get help. But I can't, because like that was part of the problem why I started was because I didn't have $50,000 for a mentorship for someone, and they were going to take like 50% of my equity. I'm like, how the hell am I ever going to start a rental portfolio if I hand you the $50,000?
Yeah.
So I've done some lower cost coaching, but it's not really worth my time to do it because it doesn't really pay out. So I started building the software product that I sell as a service. It's called the Personalized Investment Plan. Right now I charge $500 for it, and I'd love to hire a developer to help me build it out into a full-fledged software product. But also I do sponsorships and affiliates. I say this year my income has been mostly sponsorships, and last year my income was more my own products.
Nice. That's really dope. That's dope. I gotta look at this book. I'm interested, and I want to look at this sponsorship. Where can I find? I mean, not the sponsorship, the software product. Where can I find this?
Yeah.
Investarters.com.
If you go to my link in bio on social media, it's the third link, personalized investment plan. That's what it's called. It's
Got it.
plan.investarters.com. Basically, I have you fill out a form with like a bunch of questions I ask. And what I do is I pick a strategy for you. I wrote I basically wrote a script that goes out and looks at. I have data on every single zip code around the United States, and you answer like how much money you have to invest and like what kind of crime you're okay with and all this stuff, and it picks the best zip codes for you. I go ahead and manually look at the zip codes. I look how many properties are on the market in those zip codes. I then recommend a zip code based on what you're looking for and a city based on what you're looking for. And then I find real estate agents that are investor friendly for you to work with. And then I connect you with lenders. Um,
That's
I'm,
crazy. How much
I'm
you
trying
charge?
500 for it. It probably takes me about like 2.5 hours to do from start to finish, but some people take longer because their requirements are more specific. Which to me is like, when I look at that compared to some of the coaching programs that you charge like, $20,000 for, $10,000 for, and you get nothing, all you get is the education. In this case, I'm doing it for you for 500. It's pretty much a steal. But I'm doing it so this way I can get enough sales to prove to a developer that, hey, this plus my audience, if we turn this into an online platform that people just come to and answer the questions and they get the results back in real time, I think would be a great business. And so that's kind of what I've been stuck on, trying to get a developer to help me. I used to be a developer, but I'm not that good anymore, and I can't really build out the whole thing, be a content creator and a real estate investor at the same time.
Yeah. It's hard. Nah, man. I listened to a podcast that talked about like how much developing costs and like to get those apps, and it's expensive as hell. I'm like, because I want an app too for the Misguided. I got like a lot of ideas that I want to implement into one app, and I was looking at costs. I was like, oh my god, I need some cash flowing properties.
Yeah, just
So
to pay for that.
just to pay for that. But yeah, man, that's cool. We're gonna wrap it up. I know you got to get going. So the way I like to end the podcast or the episode is with the segment called Guided Conclusions, where I ask you a question that we haven't talked about previous to this recording. So we went over some questions. This one, it can make you cry, it could be funny, it could be sad. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance to every song you hear?
Sing along or dance to every song you hear. Oh, dance. Easy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go sing along. Why dance?
I love dancing. I don't know what the. I
You're in the
literally am
perfect place
type
to
of dude-
dance and sing.
I'm the type of dude who like will go to a club with their friends and be sober and just dance.
Yeah.
Not many
Yeah.
people I know do that, so I'm weird. But
My business partner who actually got me onto entrepreneur, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't drink and he just loves dancing. And so he'll be the sober one dancing everywhere.
you can't go to a bar and not drink and then not do anything. Like at least dancing allows you to have a good time without drinking.
Yeah, you're in the perfect place. I know you be dancing on Dirty Six over there. You're in the perfect place. That's funny. Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, where can people find you? Where can I contact you? Let them know.
Yeah. On social media, as I said earlier, I actually answer DMs, or I try to answer every DM. At Investarters, INVESTARTERS.
You need to patent that.
Patent that name.
Yeah, bro. Do it now as soon as possible. It doesn't cost that much. You can do it.
Okay. I'm actually thinking about changing it to something else because half of the people I'd say the name to, they don't understand what I'm saying. They're like, invest the starters. And I'm like, no.
I almost said that, but nah, keep it. Maybe you could tell me the name after the recording, but I would keep it. I I patented this logo. You can't really see it, but there's a logo, and I patented it, and I did it all by myself. I don't know if I did it right, but I think I did because I got the paper. I think I got the paper that says, you're good to go for 10 years. Yeah. So, but yeah. All right, man. Well, you guys heard it here. This is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. Again, my name is Juwan, sitting here with Antonio, the investor. Make sure you check out Investarters, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do your thing on this video. It really helps, and leave a review. We appreciate you, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool.